What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's topic is about pricing and how much you should charge for pressure washing or soft washing at a property. This is something I was very confused about when I started my business. I didn't want to be too high or too low. It does take a little bit of time to figure out, but I hope this video helps you guys just a little bit. But to help me to make these videos, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, let's dive straight into it and start off with house washing. Now, 99% of the time, this is what I usually do. As you guys can see here, I'm just on Google Earth. You can do this on your phone or a computer, but I type in the address for the house and I basically just take the measuring tool and get the square footage of the roof. Now you can click that on the far right and just do the 4 points of the house or wherever the house may be, the roof, and then you can click square foot and that will tell you the square foot of the roof, the square footage of the roof. And what I do there is kind of just multiply that number to how much I charge per square foot. So what I charge for square footage on a house like this or any other house, I just charge 15 cents a square foot. So, if you do the math, if I'm multiplying 15 cents times whatever it may be, that is your number of what you're going to charge. Now, the difficult thing about this is, this could be a 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level. And, this usually is pretty much the same, but if I like to say I just add $100 more per level. So if it's usually a 1-story house, that's when I keep it at that 15 cent. But if it's a 2-story, 3-story, 4-story, usually I'll add on 50 to $100, depending on how bad it is. So I usually like to go out to the property actually in person to check it out before, just to make sure, that you're not missing anything or making sure that it's not as bad, or if it is bad, charge more. But I am in the northern part of the United States, so obviously it's going to be a little bit more pricey. If you guys are down south, Florida, Georgia area of the United States, or you get summer all year round, or you get nice weather all year round, you can probably charge a little less, probably around that 10-cent range, because the competition's probably a little harder down there, and the cost of living and the cost of the product, sodium hypochlorite, probably a little cheaper. So you guys can get away with probably keeping in that 10-cent range for a house wash. Now, how I charge for deck washing is pretty simple. I always like to explain to the customer that I have a $2.99 minimum for all decks, because it does take time to set up my soft wash system, and it takes a lot more chemical and a lot more bleach and soaps to do a deck wash. So you guys can see here I'm just doing a soft wash technique, and so this one, if it's usually a smaller deck, I'll just keep it at that 300 mark. But you guys can also charge per square foot if you would like. But if a deck this size, it's it's 15 by 15 feet, I usually keep that around the $300 mark, just because it takes a lot more chemical and it takes a little bit longer to do, and you got to be a little more meticulous on decks as well. But if you guys want to go square footage route, I would stick to around 50 cents. That's usually what I've seen to be the money slot. That's not really too high or too low. And before we get into the rest of the video, I want to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, Jobber. Jobber is a great software program where you can create invoices, send invoices, talk to your customers, and do so much more. This has helped me and so many other people to save time and focus on really what's important, is doing quality work. My personal favorite feature is the scheduling. With a few clicks, I can create my whole schedule weeks out in advance, and Jobber will notify me when I need to be at that job. I'll put a link down in the description for a 14-day free trial so you guys can check it out and see if you like it. All right, let's get back to the video. So probably the most popular thing in the pressure washing industry is pressure washing driveways or sidewalks. Now, I kind of do the same technique as house washing, as I go on Google Earth again and do the square footage of the driveway or the sidewalk, and I personally charge 30 to 35 cents a square foot. So for example, if you have a 1,000 square foot driveway and you charge 30 cents, that would be $300, and that would be a great profit. And last but not least, there's roof washing. Since roof washing takes a lot more time and a lot more product, this is the one that I usually charge the most on. Just a little side note, you never want to use hard pressure on a shingle roof. You have to soft wash it in order to clean it effectively. So what I charge is usually 65 to 70 cents a square foot. And again, I do the same exact thing. I go on Google Earth and get the square footage of the roof and then just multiply it by what I charge. Now that pretty much sums up everything. Hopefully you guys get a better understanding of how much to charge. If you guys are brand new to the industry, I would suggest pricing a little bit lower just to land more jobs. That's what I did when I started. So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. But hopefully you also see the theme here. The more product you use, the more you charge pretty simple, but you know, it's something that is difficult at the beginning, and you know, you want to beat out your competitors, obviously. You know, if you notice that you aren't landing as many jobs, I would just lower your price just a little bit. But if you're getting a lot of jobs, then I would raise your price a little bit. So that's what I found is kind of the happy medium. You know, I'm landing a lot of jobs, but I'm also not shorting myself out. So hopefully you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video, and hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace.